Hey everyone, this is my reaction to the third episode of Ishuzoku Reviewers. Now, last episode, we really explored two places, I think. The first one was the fairy one, which was very interesting because not all fairies can handle humans, you know? Some humans are just nope. They just nope it out of it like, nope, you are, no, we are not accommodating to your type, so go away. For some humans are like, oh, well, I guess we could, a few of us can handle you, like, you gotta pick from this section. It's not a great section, but it's what we got for you. Sorry about that. And some people walk in there and they're like, oh, well, yeah, just pick whatever one you want. Just, all of them are fine. Which sounds good on paper, but in reality, it could be quite a sting to the pride. So we got to see all three of those when we went there, which is great. You know, it was a very interesting scene. You know, even though some of the fairies themselves were a little bit disappointing, the comedy of the scene was pretty on point, so that was good. In the second segment, they were supposed to go to the demon hole, or whatever it was called, to help their race, because nobody wants them for waifus. It's horrible. But, you know, they were gonna go there, but then just some cowgirls walked by with their giant bouncing tatas and milk dripping out, and they're like, you know what? Change of plan, boys, we're heading over there. And then just, yeah, that's what they experienced, you know. So, and, you know, it's just not that surprising, really. I already kind of knew that's more their preference, so nothing too surprising there. But we're here for this episode, so what are we gonna get with this episode? Who knows? I mean, you probably do, if I'm being honest, but let's just get into it, and I'll find out. So, 3, 2, 1, play. I assume I'll start the same way we always do. And yeah, I'm using the same version I always use, so. Yeah, we also found Crim is very, very sizable. Which is surprising, because I'm pretty sure we saw at least the outside of it in the first episode when he showed them that he was a boy. Didn't look that big then, but I guess he's just a grower. And there's Crim looking all excited. Yeah, something seems off here. I did notice it looked a little bit different than usual, but they... Oh, God. What exactly happened? I guess we're just having a gender-bent episode. I can definitely get behind that. I'm not sure why I'm more excited. Gender swap in, what kind of insanity did we stumble into? Just, yeah, I guess that's a service they offer. Just sign me up. Just switches. That well played. It did take a few seconds for my brain to register what was even happening. I was like, this is not the same as usual. Like, something's off here. And then a couple seconds later, it was like, that's not our usual cast. Because I looked at Crim first just because it was just funny because Crim always looks so sad and depressed and unmotivated. But then I looked back over and saw, no, that's not our characters. Like, no, they have other parts. Man, they go by way too quickly. One of these days I'm gonna just frame by frame this opening. Yeah, if you do that in this episode, there's nothing to swing at word. That's another shot that I gotta look at more slowly later. Just... I was kind of hoping that part would switch for this episode. You know, would show the gender bent version of that. But no. Okay, are we going here in this gender bent form, or? She is pretty great. And that guy is definitely horny. That's a line. See things from the female's perspective, you say. You poke an eye out with that thing, sir. Be careful. Okay, no, we're guys right now. Okay. But later on, I suppose, we'll change. About that, it may actually be possible. You know, it's a big world. Let's give it a shot. Crim is already, you know, both, so I guess, yeah, she couldn't really do much. It's kind of the idea. Okay. So basically it's a potion we take. How much are these potions? Just curiosity. That's looks like it's yeah, I imagine that would feel a bit hot. Feel like something at least. In this show, there's really no limit, so be prepared for whatever. I can only imagine how that would feel. That would just... that's gotta feel weird. That's gotta feel really weird. They're just trying to imagine how it would feel, and it's just... yeah. Well, maybe you should have thought ahead and wore a bra. Whew. Step 2 is they open up their own brothel, you know. That'd be a plot twist. Of course, now Crim could have her way with them as well, so that'd be a thing. So, what's gonna happen to Crim, though? He's gonna lose his elephant, or... my god. My god, the visuals. Because Crim has both, from what if I remember correctly, so... I guess all that would change is that he would lose the male part. Because it's this show, and that's kind of a requirement. Okay, yeah, we didn't need that anyway, so let's get going. Yeah, I noticed. But you still got pants on, so you should probably remedy that. Let's take a look-see. Whew. Yeah, that's how this works. Wish I could see it. We're having fun, Crim. Yeah, I mean, you can't just make it go to waste. So are you gonna undress Crim as well, or... But yeah, Crim is not gonna change a lot. Okay, so confirmation that is what happened. Let's investigate thoroughly. And wow, okay. Here we go. Here we go. I imagine it would be, but unfortunately I don't get to see it. I can kind of imagine what it would look like. Well, they're not really men right now, so it's okay. She had a 10 out of 10 butt though, which I got to see, so I'll take that. Just float outside like that. Oh no, I guess we're not allowed to leave like that. Which is a shame. Oh wow, that would be a bit embarrassing. Yeah. Whew. This is a very stimulating episode, I'll be honest. The world's not ready to handle us. I mean, yeah, that would be step 1. That would be step 1 for sure. It's literally found paradise there, I think. Yeah, I bet. I'm sure we have plenty of ideas. We could abuse this in so many ways. Yes, there may be more surprises. Yeah, they're just kind of there. They're very attention-grabbing. Which may lead to hand-grabbing. Well, okay then. Hopefully they don't disappear. Which they will, you know. Yeah, that would just... Not the kind of thing you want to wake up to. I think I'm starting to understand why Funimation decided to drop it. You don't want to know. Okay. Sounds good. So at least we can do something, right? Yes, Yuri Yuri. That's not something I ever expected to get from this show, but I will gladly take it. Please do. I'm an open book. Read me completely. Crim is, as always, not amused. Well, Crim has the least difference, so really shouldn't be too bothered. Oof, man, we're only halfway through the episode. I don't know if I can last to the end. Now we get to experience Yuri for the first time. I mean, you can only lose your Yuri virginity once, so make it a good one. Well, they should be more open-minded. Again, it's the least amount of difference for a Crim. It just means, you know, slight difference in how you do it, not much else. How about I not do that? Yeah, of course. Okay, that makes sense. Imbo, yeah. Well, it's not really relevant to my interests, so I don't really care too much. I see what you did there. Yeah, we saw that. No. A want ad. Hiring Incubus boys. Get paid double, that's about as far as I got. Wow. That's very open-minded. Yeah, this is common sense, Crim. Try to keep up. I can't keep track of all this. Especially because it's not relevant to my interest. Anyway, yeah, we're here for the Sekyu girls, so let's get into that. Yes. Yeah, I think Crim might want to get plowed by a guy. It's a little bit weird. Because they still think Crim is a boy, you know. And on the inside. I imagine there would be. Well, I don't know. Again, I don't really want to know too much about that. That's a little bit more bearable, but not a lot. A very specific fetish. It's not that different, but it's, I mean, I guess it depends. I don't know how much of a difference that would make to me, though. Well, there you go. Okay, we've waited long enough. Let's get these new parts to work. Okay, yeah, she's fairly cute. I'd take her. Yeah, like your chest's not too big. Yeah, is there a problem with that? Or is... Yeesh. Yeah, I mean, we don't sense the mana. All we know is she's got the parts that are fun to play with. That's really all that matters. Okay, wow. So that's a half flame. She's very cute. She's got, like, blue hair. Definitely get behind that one. Oh, I knew there was there's always a catch, isn't there, in this show? I'd still take it, though. I mean, female halfling on female halfling, I'll definitely take that. Sounds like a personal problem. Yeah. Oh, a slime girl? I'd probably pass on that one. Well, I mean, that looks pretty good, I'll give you that. But it's about it. Yeah, they were very low ranked on the waifu scale. Okay. I guess I can understand that. I imagine you could get pretty deep into a slime. Stunket. I'm sorry, I'm not paying attention to the subs right now. Here we go. Here we go. Just, I'm about to say, yeah, just be gentle. It's a new experience for sure. Whew, I bet. There's no bite here. This is literal heaven. Oh my god. It's actually more graphic than most of the other ones. Which is a very nice surprise. I don't think that's sweat. I don't think that was sweat. Okay, and meanwhile, we got this going on. So, I hope you're happy with your choice. Well, it's the first time since something's going in, so of course it will. We already kind of warned about this girl. Just... as deep as it'll go. Oh my god. I cannot believe just how much it's showing in this. This is basically hentai right now. And then we saw the slime girl, yeah. Basically, oh wow, okay. We really are hanging high here. Yeah, go for it. That was definitely a yes. I bet there's a lot to I bet there's a lot to say here. Oh wow. In their mouth as well. This is just so ridiculously not safe for YouTube. I think that's the end there. I hope there's a next time. And there's her. I can remember her from the ED or... Hyena Girl, okay. A little bit too fray for my liking, but... Crim has bold tastes. Well, I hope we see that scene, because I'm kind of curious how that will go. Hopefully Crim can handle it. Yeah, I heard about that in another anime this season. Oh, really? I didn't know that. I'm pretty sure she did, because, you know, she wants to take it. And here is Crim right here. That literal perfect body. I don't know if she will, but I guess we'll see. I'll show you what the savannah's like, just how wild it can get. Indeed. Yeah, I already kind of got where you were going with this. You want to take that female penis deep inside of you. Here we go. This is actually more normal than some of the other ones, oddly enough. Yeah, well, quote unquote. Yeah, you just kind of have to lay there and take it, you know, not too complicated. Pretty easy to do, I would imagine. You're not the only one, I assure you. And here we go. Well, looks like Crim was happy with her decision. 5, 4, 8, 9. I feel like we should got some higher scores in some of those. Yep, she knew what she was doing. Yeah, very open-minded. She's like, what? I'm the only one here that wants to bang a hyena? Just... Is the series already over? It's probably for the best. I don't know how much more I can watch without needing a change of clothing, so it's probably good to end it there. Whew, but this was just... The show... It's probably the most uncomfortable I've ever been in a reaction video, for one. Because, I mean, the show has had the sex before, of course, but it's never been that graphic. I mean, I don't think. I can kind of see why this was the limit for Funimation. It doesn't make it okay, of course, but I can at least see why they suddenly decided after a few episodes to stop. This show is better. It's a better hentai than most actual hentai, funnily enough. Mitsuha's corner again. Okay. I wasn't expecting this. I guess she swings both ways. I usually like Yuri, but... I didn't ask for that. Savage, succubus, salamander girls with such hot bods, hearts, souls. So much text on screen, it's like a giant wall. Okay. That was the third episode of Ishuzoku Reviewers, Interspecies Reviewers, Yuri Reviewers. So, this episode, you know, the very beginning, we had a usual intro that we have in this show, you know? However, it took a bit of a turn, because it showed our usual cast. However, they looked a little bit different than usual, because they were not men, they were females. They had the female parts. You know, Crim didn't look too different, of course, because, of course, she wouldn't. Because there's already a little bit of both, with her overall physical appearance leaning towards the female side. So, of course, she wasn't going to look too different. Only real difference was she lost a part. Literally the only difference. So, but we had a bit of a discussion about kind of the female perspective, and the best way to get that is to become a girl. You know, in real life, that's a little bit tricky to do. You can't just drink a potion. But in this world, you can. So, unfortunately, there seems to be some limitations with this. Like, I think they were kind of implying that you couldn't just, like, go out and do whatever like this. Like, you were kind of limited on what actions you could take. So, all you could really do after transforming, I guess, was just go to select a few brothels that are kind of working with this business, and they're okay with these, you know, male-turned-female interactions, I suppose. But, yeah, the transformation sequence itself was pretty good, and just, you know, the usual, the things you would expect afterwards, you know, taking off the shirt, admiring their new changes, stuff like that. That was very enjoyable to watch, especially when we just kind of forced it on Crim, especially when they took off her pants, because, like I said, that butt, literally perfect. Like, unfortunately, we didn't get to see all of it because, you know, we're never going to be able to see all of it. But going by their word for it, she looked pretty good in the front, too. And I can kind of imagine what she looks like. My mind is powerful enough to fill in the blank. I like it when Crim tried to escape, we put a stop to that, and just showed off everything she's got for the world to see. Except for us again, of course. They have to block off the important bit. But I'm sure that was amazing for everyone involved. But yeah, we got to see some of the things they would do, like go to the female bath, of course, one of the first things you do in this situation. But also the possibility of hooking up with a guy, and then the next day he wakes up in his bed and there's a guy there. That's the literal nightmare feel right there. So we can't allow things like that, so gotta be careful. So, at this point, it was just a matter of choosing which psychic girl we wanted to go for. We had a long discussion about various common sense things, you know, like incubus, the idea of girls becoming guys as well, and all sorts of different services they offer and stuff, but really most of it wasn't too relevant to us, aside from Crim, because Crim's a bit of a unique case, because obviously she was not a boy before, she was a Futanari, and I guess she's not really into the scissor activities, so I guess rather than that, she just wants it inside of her. You know, fair enough, everyone has their preferences, everyone wants to experience different things, and that's what she opted for. What she did, though, was definitely preferable than, you know, finding an actual guy. She just went with a hyena, and hyenas, both boys and girls, have that extra equipment. So, which I'm sure that's true, because 2 anime have told me that's true this season, so I guess it's true. I never got close enough to a hyena to confirm that for sure, but I imagine it's true. So yeah, that was Crim's choice. The others chose a little bit differently. I think, yeah, Stunk just went for a normal elf girl. It was actually, you know, pretty good looking. Like, the chest was still a little bit on the big side, but it didn't cross the line into unattractive like a lot of them do. It was kind of just barely on the other side of that line for me. I thought she looked fine. I mean, I would have preferred with a little bit longer hair if we're talking personal preferences, but she was fine. I have no problem with the choice, though. It was funny, though, the way she was acting kind of cutesy with that whole thing, because the others, you know, who can actually sense her old, rickety, decrepit mana, that looks like an old woman to them. So that whole cutesy thing would have been really cringy to anyone that's not a human. So, which includes not only elves, so apparently any of these magical creatures can pick up on that old lady mana, because even Crim and the halfling we're like, really, dude? Like, seriously? Okay, sure, have fun with an old lady if that's what you're into. But yeah, I do like how they did. I feel like they did a pretty good job of, even though she definitely looks young enough to where you can she kind of, personality-wise, she did kind of come across as somebody much older than she looks. So I feel like they did a good job of that. I don't know if I'm doing a good job of explaining what I'm trying to say here, but like, yeah, she did kind of come across as an old lady that just looks younger and is trying to act younger. I thought they did a pretty good job conveying that there. So props on that. Then we had Pilcia, something like that, and she just looks like, I know, she looks like the most moe girl in the show so far, I think. Like, she had these almost comically large eyes. Like, they were clearly trying to go for that sort of moe lolly kind of appeal with her character. Even though, again, she's much older than she looks. You know, because it's borderline illegal otherwise, so of course she has to actually be completely illegal in reality. And the halfling chose the halfling, you know, fair enough. It just means we get some borderline lolly Yuri action, which is certainly not something you get a lot in this show, so definitely will take that when I can get it. Then we had a slime, which I didn't think looked all that great, personally, aside from the back door, which looked fine. So, but, you know, I'm sure the slime still feels incredible regardless, so I'm sure there's worse decisions, worse ones to go for. And right about then is when we started to actually get into the real meat of the episode, I guess you could say. Like, we start off with Stunk. I think that's his name, right? Stunk. I don't. Yeah. Well, Stunket, I think. It's just whatever he called him in this. We started off with him and her and the elf, and this was a great scene. Like, I very much enjoyed it. It might have been my favorite, honestly, even though it was the first one. We got some finger in the mouth. We had some. It just came across as a very Yuri scene, you know? I really have no complaints with this scene. We got the Yōkai kind of pressed up against each other, the usual finger action. You got some saliva dripping down the mouth. Like, I'm thoroughly satisfied with this scene. I think I literally have zero complaints with this one. We even had a switch of position when she was face down. Like, yeah, I would not have given that 5 points. I would have given that a 10, personally. Then we had the halfling one, which they did kind of warn that she was a bit of an S, so apparently she decided to use tools, which I guess that's mostly for the point of kind of diversifying or differentiating, that's a better word for it, this from the previous scene, because they're all like Yuri scenes, both of them are Yuri scenes, so you have to have something to make them a little bit different, and that's why we opted for this one. So, regardless, this looked pretty enjoyable as well. Yeah, I'm not sure exactly how the halfling, I don't remember her name, felt about that, but then she mentions tying her up because it, you know, clearly wasn't kinky enough. Only gave 4 points though. And then we had the slime one, which is pretty good. I wasn't exactly sure what to expect for the slime one, but we had some like hanging up and also slime going in the mouth, which was again a very nice touch. So that was also a really good scene. And then we had the hyena one. Everyone was a little bit surprised about Crim's choice, because it was a bold choice for sure. You know, nobody else had the guts to choose somebody that would involve a penis going inside of them. They're just not on Crim's level at the end of the day. But yeah, Crim seemed pretty satisfied with the choice. It's just funny though, because this involves a hyena girl, and yet it came across as like the most normal H scene in the episode. You know, like it was missionary position. Like nothing too fancy or over the top. It was just pretty straightforward. Of course, the best part of it was just seeing Crim naked, because at this point in the show, Crim is still the best looking character in my opinion. That hasn't changed at all. And yeah, the animation of Crim's boobs bouncing during the act looked very well animated. Like, not over super exaggerated like some of the other Jiggle in the show. And Crim also looked very satisfied by the end of it. So, yeah, it's nice that Crim got a pretty good experience here. Because a lot of the times in these scenes, Crim kind of gives a lower score than some of the others. But this one, it seemed more like Crim really got to choose what he wanted. She wanted whatever. And in the end, gave like a 9 out of 10. Who is it that gave an 8? Zeru Zeru, okay. So yeah, just people are very surprised by some of Crim's stuff in the show, it seems like. And that was the episode. I feel like I talked about it longer than usual, but there was a lot to talk about. There was a lot of great stuff in this episode. You know, probably the best episode so far, I would say. I mean, it's probably not even up for debate. Like, this is the best episode so far. Like, it had more girls that were attractive to me personally. It had just a lot of very interesting ideas. It just showed a lot more during the scenes themselves. It was great. I mean, it was practically perfection. Like, I don't know what more you could have asked for. You know the phrase borderline hentai gets thrown around a lot in regards to ecchi anime, but I think if somebody watches this show, they'll kind of get a newfound perspective for that word. They probably won't use that word so often because this is true borderline hentai. Like, it's not actually hentai because you never actually directly saw it going into anything, you know, but it's literally as close as you can get without being actual hentai. So hopefully if somebody does watch this, they stop calling just regular ecchi anime that, because it's a misuse of the term. And this show demonstrates that pretty well, I would say. Anyway, I don't think I can say much more about this without repeating myself, but it was wonderful. It was fantastic. More than I could have ever expected out of this show. I got here, and it was glorious. More, please. Thank you for watching, and a special thanks to Cnouki and Ryan for supporting the channel. If you enjoyed this video, I hope you consider clicking the like button and leaving a comment, because that's a great and easy way to let me know that people want more. If you want to do something big to help the channel, you can support me on Patreon and get nice benefits like early access to certain videos. See you next time.